Fasten your seatbelts, and let's embark on this hilarious, entertaining, and sometimes jaw-dropping adventure into the world of the world's weirdest cars. Let's start with the first one. Peel Trident was an example of a microcar, designed to be incredibly compact and lightweight. Its diminutive size and a futuristic bubble-like canopy made it stand out. The car made its debut at the British Motorcycle Show in 1964. This was an unusual move, as it was a car being showcased at a motorcycle event. Despite initial interest and attention, production of the Peel Trident came to an end in 1966, just a couple of years after its launch. The limited market demand for such a specialized microcar likely played a role in its discontinuation. Next, we have the Fiat Multipla left consumers scratching their heads when it was released in 1998. The car brand planned to use the new model as the heir to the throne of the Multipla name. Instead, it was the downfall. The biggest problem was that the 1998 Multipla just made no sense. It looked like Fiat took several different car designs, smushed them together, then crossed their fingers for good luck. In its inaugural year, only 426 of these strange beasts were sold. Only in Hollywood would a car company come up with a Davis D2 Diva. The strange, and we're guessing futuristic-looking, car was designed by the Davis Motor Company in Southern California. Thankfully for everyone involved, it never found its way to the market. The automaker's owner was notorious for shady business practices and overestimated the supply he needed of the vehicle. Investors, in turn, became increasingly upset, waiting for their return. Eventually, they abandoned ship, sinking the D2 Divan for good. Perhaps the most absurd car on this list. The 1958's Undup Janus holds a special place in our confused little hearts. When its doors are open, it's impossible to tell which end is the front and which end is the back. The car was designed by a motorcycle company trying to make a splash in the car industry. Wanting to stand out, they put the doors to the Janus in the front and back. And if that wasn't bad enough, the car could only reach a top speed of 50 miles per hour, which is great if you prefer driving in the slow lane. Next car, the Il Car, was a real head-scratcher. The Italian company Zagato produced this zany electric microcar called the Il Car. Zagato was known for collaborating with manufacturers like Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin to produce some amazingly gorgeous cars. The fiberglass Il Car, on the other hand, was not considered an attractive car. Only in production from 1974 to 1976. It had a low top speed and a range of just 10 miles in weather below 40 degrees. And with a recharge time of 8 hours, the Il Car never took off. The VW Type 181 was designed for the German military in the late 1960s, but sold to the public from 1980 under a number of names, including the Trucker in the UK and the Thing in America. Quite what the Germany Army or anyone else needed with a Minimoke-inspired biscuit tin is anyone's guess. Like a less attractive van conversion of the Popemobile, the only thing that could make it worse is a tongue-in-cheek Picasso-inspired special edition with a humorless name. Step forward, the Nissan Escargot. The only thing more unique than their Aurora was its story. This concept car was created by Father Alfred Giuliano, a Catholic priest with a childhood passion for designing cars, who was on a mission to create the safest car. And he did, for a very short time. Built on a 1953 Buick chassis, the driver's seat was placed in the middle of the car to protect the driver from side collisions. The steering column was made collapsible, and a padded instrument panel was added. It also had shatterproof plastic windows and a roll cage. Father Giuliano thought of everything except to check the fuel lines. The car broke down 15 times on the way to its planned introduction at a 1957 media event and received a lackluster reception upon its late arrival. Eventually, Father Giuliano went bankrupt after making only the one Aurora prototype. Marcos Mantis M70. When you think of a mantis, you probably think of the saw-armed insect that eats other bugs. It features bad proportions and lumpy lines that are hard on the eyes, not to mention the disturbing recessed headlights. Few of Marcos Engineering's cars are particularly attractive, but the Mantis achieves a level of hideousness rarely seen on four wheels. Everything about this car is wrong, from the lumpy lines to the poor proportions to the disconcerting details. Amazingly, Marcos managed to sell 32 of these monstrosities in a 2-year period. As soon as the Pontiac S-Tech was announced, it was universally hated by car lovers. Critics claimed the design of the car itself made no sense, especially its oddly shaped front end. It didn't help that the body was made of plastic instead of something safer. When Pontiac announced the features that would come with the S-Tech and the price tag they would have to pay, it became clear the crossover was doomed. People just weren't willing to pay for an impressive performance and underwhelming design. Thank you for joining us on this whimsical ride.